we got our live stream running, and I didn't get a full charge on the battery for some reason, so I've got to be careful with that. So today is the 2nd of March. It's 7:35 in the morning. We got a lot of news today with the war. I got a lot of updates, and we'll tie it to Bible prophecy with the beast, Revelation 17:18, and it's going to be a fun broadcast. And let me get into the live stream and make sure we got sound and picture, and we'll get going. While people are coming in, I'll put a post up. Let's see. While people are coming in, I'll put a post up. Okay. My getting the post up is going to take probably seconds, not minutes. Let me get this pinned up. And I got that. Okay. All right. Being a Bible-believing site, I'm going to do some praise. You could join in. There is no God like Jehovah. 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 There is no Messiah like Yeshua. 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 All right, so where do we start? That's the $1,000,000 question. There's so much. Some more people got hit in Jerusalem. A missile fell into the street. When Israel says it's a missile fall, it means the missile landed and blew up. Okay? And it blew up near a car and injured some people in the car and other people in the street. That was really the big one that we had. In Tiberias, a large piece of a fuselage of a missile fell down, but didn't hit anybody. It fell in the open or in the street or something. Okay. 9 Iran ships were sank around the Straits of Hormuz. So Trump's not talking about it, but he's breaking up the blockade of the Persian Gulf. He's attempting to. Now, remember, they can blockade with missiles. They can blockade with go-fast boats. They can blockade with submarines. They can blockade with naval mines. And they're doing it with all the above. So just taking out some of the Iranian ships doesn't mean to me that it's over. It's not. A little while ago, I checked gold. It's at 53.57, and the markets in America really aren't open yet. So it's going to be rocking and rolling. Silver was back up at 93, same thing, rocking and rolling soon. And crude, the WTI, the American stuff, was up to 71. and the Brent was up to 77. But again, it's still very early, and you got to wait several hours till America opens up, and then I believe you're going to see the real chaos of this closing of the Persian Gulf and the war. Remember, the war started when the markets were already closed on Friday. So you're first going to really see the impact of this today. The Iranians attacked 4 tanker ships already in the Persian Gulf. One of the latter ones was near Oman. They are attacking Oman, by the way, so it just took them a little time to get around to it. One of the Iranian ships called the Iris Jamaran. Well, it's one of their top Navy ships, and there's pictures of it burning in port. It was airstrikes. They're going to take their ships out with airstrikes. Their ships are, sitting ducks. They don't have the anti-aircraft missiles on ships that can take out stealth jets. They're not there yet. I guess Americans and/or Israelis jointly or separately hacked Channel 3 of the Iranian Broadcast Authority, called IRIB. And instead of regular broadcasting messages being transmitted, the Iranian people got to hear Prime Minister Netanyahu and President Donald Trump telling them to take over the government. They got a 1 in a million years. Well, they didn't use that exactly, but I think Netanyahu said once in a lifetime opportunity and take it over. So Trump is continuing to urge them to overthrow the government. And that would be the most peaceful end, but it has not happened yet. And the IRGC is still shooting at him in many cities. They have taken Israel and Trump, America, have taken to bombing IRGC physical buildings as well as police physical buildings. So that will create more disruption and stuff like that. Trump is saying a lot of the IRGC and the police want to get immunity and surrender. I haven't seen any action on this, so I'm not sure if it's war propaganda to destroy the morale of the troops. Not only that, it might also cause the troops to surrender for immunity because they're thinking that their friends are. Now, if we the people of Iran take over, they're going to kill the police and the IRGC. I mean, they're going to beat their heads against the ground and break their heads open. I mean, they're going to kill. And you'll start seeing they'll bust people out of jail if this is going to happen. They'll open the prisons, and the IRGC has even been moving prisoners around from prisons to military bases because they're afraid the people are going to liberate them. As of a few hours ago, the IDF has dropped 1,200 bombs. Combined, America and Israel bomb dropping is in excess of 2,000. And that's going up by the hour. I don't know the exact count, but you could get the idea that it's pretty serious. The Iranians did fire at Cyprus, where there are a large amount of British soldiers, I think thousands. Did they actually get a hit on the base? I think eventually they did. Maybe they just fired at it, but they didn't get a high casualty count or any casualties. Will Great Britain enter into the war? It's highly probable at this point. I don't know. There's about 150 ships, tankers, and other kinds of commercial vessels that are trapped inside the Persian Gulf by the Iranians in their idiocy and by closing the Straits of Hormuz. And the ships are very worried. And this is going to take its toll on market prices because the ships can't leave. One ship did get fired upon, did catch a flames. They did get the fire out, and they just chugged along and trying to make an end run for it. I think they got out. Good for them. But I don't think very many other ships are going to try it because you're playing with a very dangerous game with getting hit by missiles. So the Iranians, the story that you're hearing most likely is not the correct story, is that the Iranians called Trump and wanted to talk. No. Trump called the Iranians to see if they wanted to talk. I believe it went through Italy. It may have gone through Oman. Who actually conveyed the call, we don't know. But the new psychopaths that have taken over in Iran said they have no interest in talking to Trump. So they're not even ready to talk to him. Okay? So Trump is just trying to cover his butt because he probably still doesn't understand what the Iranians are and the Middle East are like. He doesn't get it. So he tried to save face and says, oh, they called me. No. He went to them. Why did he go to them? Well, he might have thought he created enough damage and got them sufficiently scared where they see the writing on the wall that if they don't throw the towel in, they're going to go down bad. And they're not throwing the towel in. So now Trump is talking about approximately 4 weeks of this. The supreme leader of the Islamic Revolution, the new one, I guess, has come out with a fatwa, which is like a papal bull, saying that all Muslims have to avenge the blood of their oppressed leader because of this criminal act. So they're trying to call for a big uprising of the Muslims around the world. Normally their response to things like this, the Iranians get none or next to none of a response. They get a very dismal response, okay? The FBI is issuing some sort of warning, and some of the bad sites that like to scare you to buy survival goods and equipment are saying that it's a sleeper agent scare, and it's more of a general scare that some Quran reading thug will jump out and start doing terrorism. That's what they're afraid of. So they're getting the cities to protect better the more vulnerable targets, maybe like public transportation, the water supply, plumbing, various things, airports, transportation hubs, subways, and trains, things like that. Okay, we understand night before last, 4 B-2 bombers flew in from America, dropped their bombs and flew back to America. It's like a 24-hour run. Since the British got their lovely attack on Cyprus, they told Trump that he could use Diego Garcia as a launching station to attack Iran. So they didn't want him doing it previously. So now B-52s, B-1s, B-2s, Raptors, whatever, can land in Diego Garcia, which is out of reach of Iran, and fly with refueling tankers, I suppose, to bomb Iran. The Iranians did fire several missiles at the Abraham Lincoln. They did not cause any damage. They did scare Trump and the Pentagon, and they retreated the Abraham Lincoln further away from Iran, which means longer flight times and more refueling, I suppose, things like that. They shot cruise missiles at the ship. So there are absolutely zero peace talks. The Iranians said they're not talking. They're not interested in negotiations. They're creating a lot of damage. We'll get into that. He originally said they wanted to talk, and I agreed to it. So I will talk to them. Yeah, but the Iranians are not talking to him. He lies like this constantly about things like this. So don't pay attention to it. He's saying, oh, they should have done it earlier. It would have been much easier. And, like I'm telling you, the Iranians are not very interested in, stopping this. They think they can outlast America and Israel. And if Trump gets the protesters to overthrow the government, Trump wins. But it could be that, even though that's not in prophecy, that could be a temporary situation. That doesn't work and it fails, and then, we're back at war with them or something. I'm not sure how it's going to play, but we don't see any signs of them effectively overthrowing the IRGC or the military or the police or anything. The people are out in the streets shouting for joy while the bombs are coming down because they hate that regime so much. It's a death cult. It's really what it is. All right. So the prison they transferred the people out of in Iran was Ma'awin prison, and they put them on a base with the IRGC, and they essentially are using these prisoners as a human shield on the IRGC bases. These are civilians that have been in prison. So that's the brutality and the viciousness of these people. Even the IRC, the European Union, that's our jets. Even the head of the European Union Parliament said that she wants a regime change for Iran. So she's beginning to turn against Iran. All we need now is for Iran to shoot missiles into the European Union, and we're there. The UAE took, as of yesterday afternoon, 165 missiles and almost 500 drones. Hotels and residential buildings were hit. And the UAE is sustaining pretty good against the damage with their anti-missile systems. It's another jet. There's a reason why we're getting continuous jets up there. It's a possibility they went to Hezbollah this morning and bombed them, because we are bombing Hezbollah again. They shot a few missiles at us for Khomeini, Oh, we're going to revenge Khomeini. And we started bombing the daylights out of them again, not just in the south, all the way up in Beirut and wherever. And yesterday, one of the IDF bosses sent a evacuation notice to 35 villages and small cities in southern Lebanon. So these jackass Hezbollah moved into 35 of these little cities. See, the Lebanese army is 60% Shiite, and they're in favor of these people. They want to destroy Israel. They're no good for us. So if that's what Lebanon, the game they want to play, they're going to get destroyed. They can't fight Israel. I think ultimately they'll probably side with Hezbollah, and that'll be the end of them. I'm not going to miss them. So the UAE had stupid Israelis, that's what I call them, foolish Israelis, that take vacations in Muslim-majority countries. That's silly. Got stranded there. And the UAE is footing their hotel bill. I suppose I got to buy them more food. It says they're covering their hotel stays, covering the costs. Maybe they're covering food. I don't know. And Israel is aiding tourists at home. There's people in Israel that are stuck here. So I told you some of the people that like to play this game of let's go back onto Moses' law with the barley are over here. My wife doesn't play the let's go back on the Moses law game. She does the barley to call the calendar, which I don't believe in. The moon gives us the calendar. That's what it says in Genesis 1. But anyway, they're here. They don't care about Israelis. They just come here to play their game and look at the barley and, try to get people back on the Moses law and confuse people, division, all this stuff they do. And now they're stuck here. They're probably freaking out. These are not people that walk in faith for the most part. America said that it hit over 1,000 targets in Iran. I believe them. It took them a full day, or perhaps a day and a half or something, to get the good air superiority over there. In other words, they had to get rid of a lot of radar and a lot of ground-to-air attack systems, anti-aircraft systems. So some gunman in, where is it, Texas, I think, was wearing a hoodie that said "Property of Allah." Who is Allah anyway? I don't think there is an Allah. Where is he? I don't know. There's no Allah. It's Satan if it's anybody. Had photos of Iranian leaders at home. He did some shooting or something like that. I'm not really spending a lot of time on American news, but they had something. And that probably was one of the reasons they got the FBI concerned. We've even been hitting Beirut to get rid of Hezbollah. It's going to be a lot of bombing in Lebanon. And we were prepared for this. We knew the Lebanese people are not serious about being our friends or at peace with us. And they sway towards the Hezbollah. So, not all, but many. Trump might have tried to take a poke at the new regime because most of the old regime are dead in Iran and try to see if he could get anywhere with them. And I think he found out he can't. There's like, I believe there's a video of the Iran saying no or a picture. And I don't know if there's a sound bite with it. I think so, saying they're not interested in negotiations. Um, in any event, no talks are on the horizon right now. This came from French news, okay? The agency is AFP France, Alpha Foxtrot Papa. Germany, I'm sorry, France, Germany, and the UK are entering the war against Iran. France, Germany, and the UK are the ones that were behind getting the UN to do the snapback sanctions, and they probably have very intelligently realized that they were on the Iranian hit parade list. And they're going in the war. That's taken us right back to a good fulfillment of Jeremiah 49 with Elam, which is Iran and Iraq. Now, Iran is attacking the part of Iraq called Erbil, which I think is one of their big cities. Is it their capital? I don't even know, maybe. Saudi Arabia is entering the war against Iran, and Trump's loving it. And they should be starting to attack Iran. I wouldn't be surprised if they attack today or tomorrow. We're going to see more Middle Eastern countries get into this. Now, Iran is aggressively and wholeheartedly pounding Kuwait, Bahrain. They've caused a lot of damage in Bahrain. They've been hitting the ports and the piers in some of these countries to stop the oil from shipping out. They've really hit Qatar hard, very hard against UAE. They have gone on Oman. They have gone on Saudi Arabia. They have gone at Jordan, but not that heavily. Of course, Israel. And now they've got the new list of their enemies attacking them is Israel, America, Saudi Arabia, France, Germany, the UK. So far, they've got about 7 enemies. But you've got these 7 countries in the war with Iran, which makes 8. And then you got to add into that Kuwait, Bahrain, Qatar, UAE, Oman, and Jordan. So you have about 14 countries at war now in the Middle East. Is anybody getting a nudge in the prophecy department? Let me see how my battery is doing here. I can't see the battery with this stupid thing. I don't know. In a little while, I'll plug it in to keep it charged, I guess. All right. So I haven't heard much else about France, Germany, and the UK getting into the fight, but I told you initially I think they would. They probably waited till America and Israel stripped the air defense systems and the radar down from Iran. Now they're going to go in. And, it seems that every day we're getting one missile fall getting through and hurting the Israelis. So it's, you're going to see more Israelis leave Israel, and some will never come back, and some might come back down the road. They're thinking, who knows? It's still unpleasant. They're still able to get pretty significant rocket fire at us. I don't think Lebanon's going to be able to do much of anything. I think that they're just going to get pounded, and they might get some stuff off, but it's going to be super minimal. Oh, we had a first victory for the Iron Beam. Yay, Iron Beam, go, Iron Beam, go, go, go. That's a laser system. It took down a Hezbollah missile up by the border. So we had our first, what they're telling us about, our first victory. That's good. Well, our geniuses in Iran managed to do something really stupid. An Iranian missile hit East Jerusalem main Palestinian hospital named Al-Maqased. You're not going to hear much about this. They don't want to portray Iran in a bad light, but they caused damage to their own people. We're hearing, like yesterday, there were heavy explosions in Tehran, Bushehr, Abadan, Mashhad, Avaz, Isfahan, Kandahar, and other cities in Iran. Their attacks are very, very heavy duty, guys. I am not kidding. And I don't, I don't like Netanyahu, but when you start this, there's nothing you can do. It just takes time. These things, these missile launch sites are fortified. They got a ton of them, and they're very hard to knock out. And the plan might be to just keep hitting the IRGC and the police, and until the people take over the government, and then you disband the military, and they're not in a military, and what are they going to do? The people can go after their families. That'll bring a surrender. Go after the families of the military and the government. The parliament building in Tehran, kaput, blown up. Explosion, fire, the whole bit, kaput. Enough of these iconic buildings are gone, and then the protesters just established the situation that there is no more mullah government left in Iran. The Shah's son is probably going to be coming over there soon. The people living in South Lebanon, probably from the Litani River to our border, have begun a mass exodus very similar to what's going on in Tehran, where they're doing a mass exodus out of the capital city, which is on fire. When you look at the pictures on Telegram, my Telegram, you'll see photos and videos. The sky's red with, the orange red from fire there. The place is burning. That's like getting rid of Washington, D.C. in America or London in the U.K. Okay? You get rid of that, it's a sign that the government is no more. You have a lot of Muslims living in Iran that are not out in the streets joyful over the death of Khomeini, and it may turn into some civil fighting on a high level. I don't know. They're not going to want to see a liberal government where hijabs are optional. And, the way they'll do it, if the Muslims want to wear a hijab and stuff like that and do Ramadan, go ahead and do it. But the country is not calling themselves an Islamic Republic, and they're not going to abide by the Quran. So the existing Muslims are going to very likely rise up. But we got to see. Maybe not. We got to see. We did 15 strikes in Beirut a while ago, and we're probably going to do more in the coming days. And we're probably going to go in on the ground. 35 villages in South Lebanon got an evacuation order. That means we're going to be bombing these villages because we know there's Hezbollah there, probably with weapons, and we're going to destroy these villages. And that's going to stop them from coming back, and the Lebanese people aren't going to like it. But what the heck are we supposed to do? Take missiles because of them? See, you've got to hold the government responsible for letting a terrorist group operate in there. Otherwise, you'll have every country just, they'll attack from Syria. He'll say, they're terrorists. I'll try to get them. And they'll do it from Iraq, and they'll do it from here, and they'll do it from there. You can't have that. The Iranians are still chock full of missiles, and they're attacking away. They're attacking Israel, they're attacking multiple countries, and they're getting there. The Institute for Monitoring Oil Tankers reports a severe reduction in the GPS and satellite navigation signals in the Strait of Hormuz. Likely that's Iran doing it. As part of their shutdown. I told you all along they were going to shut the Persian Gulf. And wait till you see the oil prices later today. Then we'll know more. The Iranians are proud to say they completely destroyed the THAAD radar that the American defense system of Israel in the UAE has. So they're saying that the THAAD system in the UAE has been destroyed, that no radar, it can't work. That means they're just going to keep pot-shotting at the UAE. And as I told you many times, the UAE, or sometimes anyway, the UAE is loaded with very high-value targets, expensive, hundreds of millions and billions of dollars of buildings and houses and parks and attractions, water slides, roller coasters, and stuff like that, big malls, airport. They're hitting their airport. They're really demolishing the place, trying to. The Iranians tried telling these countries, we're not attacking your country, we're just attacking the bases of America in your country. And that didn't work because they are getting damage in these countries. They're hitting airports, ports, piers. No, it's not working. There's a large fire at a maritime facility near Salman port in Bahrain. This is where the oil goes in and out. Well, goes out. So there's no port. The ships can't, pull up and load up. And you don't ship oil by air. You'd be paying $45 a gallon or something, This is very, very interesting. I'll read it here. A verified report indicates that the U.S. military is transferring senior officers operating at its military bases in Bahrain to Saudi Arabia via the bridge connecting Bahrain to Saudi Arabia. And therefore it's exposed to danger, so they're telling civilians not to use this bridge because they expect Iran to attack the bridge. So Trump is not trying to fortify Bahrain, he's trying to get his people out of there. So it's saying citizens are advised to exercise the highest levels of caution and not to approach this bridge until further notice. Well, that's probably wisdom. See, the Iranians are really causing damage. It's not a joke. This is the literal quote. The senior Iranian Ali Larijani responds to a report about the initiative to renew negotiations with the U.S. We will not negotiate with the U.S., was his comment. Okay? So, as it stands now, we can forget about peace talks with the Iranians unless Israel and Trump manage to massacre the next generation of Iranian leaders, and then we have a third generation who I don't believe will behave any different either. So it doesn't work that way. They don't say we better make a deal because we're going to get wiped out. That's not their modus operandi. What they're going to say is we hate America even more because now we got to get revenge against them for these dead leaders. And they're putting the revenge flags up at the mosques, so they're into revenge now. And it's Ramadan, which makes things worse. Netanyahu never would have tried this move on Ramadan. Never in a million years. It was a lack of wisdom. Okay. Let me take a quick look in the live stream and then we'll get into some interesting stuff. It's looking more and more like the prophetic destruction of Elam. Erbil is having tremendous attacks from Iran. That's, I think, the capital of one of the principal cities of Iraq. And Iran is getting, they're really taking a bad shellac. The blood moon, we know. The blood moon is, you got to understand, a one-time event. And that'll be on the day of vengeance. And it's not here yet. So we're watching and waiting. All right. Let me tell you what Trump did. Okay. Trump did something that Netanyahu and all the leaders of Israel were never able to do before. And I want to tell you, I applaud Trump for this. Okay. Trump managed to get our enemies to kill each other. He did. I mean, let's get real. Bahrain, Qatar, Kuwait, UAE, Oman, Jordan, Saudi Arabia, and also Syria, but Syria is not in the fight, and Lebanon are squatting in Israeli land. It's been given to us as a covenant by the Lord in Genesis 15, from the Euphrates River to the Nile. They're squatting on our land. And all the countries in the UN support that. None of them are saying, give Israel their oil. No, keep it. You need more gold-plated Rolls Royces. You need more sapphires and rubies and emeralds and diamonds. You need more 100,000 square foot houses. You need more airline planes for personal jets. You need more yachts the size of a cruise ship, you know. You got it? Now, God has not forgotten that. No. That's what this recompense period of time is about in Isaiah 34:8. It says that the year, it's not a year. It's a prophetic period of time. They mistranslate it and they think it means a year. It doesn't. So this is all happening to them over Zion. But Iran is attacking with dangerous missiles and drones, serious attacks, real attacks. Kuwait, Bahrain, Qatar, UAE, Oman, Saudi Arabia. You know, Jordan a little bit, not a lot for some reason, and Iraq and Israel. But Trump got the Muslims to attack the Muslims and kill each other. Nobody ever did that before. I mean, I got to give Trump a hand. Trump really pulled it off. Is that exactly what Trump was trying to do? I don't think so. But I'm worried. I'm concerned with what God does, not Trump. So, yeah, I mean, this is a great thing Trump did. He's got the enemies of Israel killing each other. Now, here's where we're going with this. I don't think the beast is very happy with Trump's plans and the way Trump's managing the war. Okay? No. Trump, as many other world leaders in recent weeks, has been eating a lot of tossed salad and whole enchiladas and not getting his communications from the pit, so, or the dark side, or the evil, unclean spirits. So he's not getting that. So he's taken matters into his own hand, and I think he crossed the red line with the beast. Now, who are Satan's chosen people? Well, what is Satan about? Money. What is it about with the people that serve Satan and think they're holy royalty? They talk about how much money they have. Trump does that all the time. They talk about their wealth. Who are some of the wealthiest people in the world? Kuwait, Bahrain, Qatar, UAE, Oman, Saudi Arabia, maybe Iraq, Jordan, the rich ones, okay? And they're now under attack. So we got to give Trump a hand. I'm not kidding. Trump is going around getting the enemies of Israel to kill each other. Is this an intentional act that Trump did? No. Trump's not trying to pull that off. It's just happened that way. And now they're beginning to rise up and they will start attacking Iran, which is more Muslims against Muslims. And on top of that, who votes against us at the UN? Who sanctions us all the time? Who opens a mouth to us? France and the UK, and they're joining in the war against the Mohammeds in Iran. And Germany is not really that bad with us these days. So, but they're joining against Iran too. And Trump's loving it. Trump's loving it. Trump's going to try to take control of these countries. Now, Saudi Arabia will submit to Trump. The UAE, Kuwait, they'll all submit. But Germany, France, and the UK will be friendly to Trump if he says something to them, or his generals do. They will definitely listen with all respect, very carefully. And if it's a good plan from their point of view and something they like, they'll go along with it. But they're not going to go for everything Trump tells them. Okay? That's a big difference. Now, I saw a Churchianity site that I follow off and on actually talk about this is causing the beast to come knock out America. Now, I was surprised to see this guy talk like that. He doesn't use the right names for Jehovah and Yeshua. He's not Israelite, he's American, but I was really surprised to see how astute he was to pick this up. He didn't pick up, well, I guess he did. Did he really get to the point of, I don't know how aware he is of the Muslims being Satan's chosen people. Now, the Muslims that are, Iran is a Shiite Muslim nation, and they're predominantly attacking Sunni. You see, the Shiites won't run a country as a king or an emir or a sultan or something like that. They'll play the democracy game, but Khomeini had many, many, many billions of dollars, so he's operating like a king, It's just a sham. Kuwait's a royal family, Qatar's a royal family, Bahrain's a royal family, UAE, Oman, Saudi Arabia, they're all royal families. Okay? Jordan is a royal family. Iraq, not so much. So, the royal families keep the wealth, and they don't like that. They advocate an equal distribution of the wealth to the people, but Iran doesn't do that, that's for sure. So that is something that has to be brought out too. So Satan and the beast may be thinking they want to get rid of the Sunnis and forcibly convert them into Shiite or something like that. I don't know. Because the Shiite are very into killing Israel, Sunnis are not. Now, some Sunnis do want to kill Israel. They do exist. So it's, an interesting thing. But Trump is clearly going after the oil, trying to stop BRICS from devaluating the dollar. And getting Muslims to kill Muslims. Plus, he's killing Muslims. They don't usually do that, but I'm not complaining. Now, what we say in Israel when we see Saudi Arabia starting to fight with Iran is we wish both of them, we wish, when Saudi Arabia and Iran are fighting each other, we wish them both much success in their endeavors. Yes, we do. I'm getting nasty with you, right? Well, I'm expressing nasty, but you think I enjoy seeing my country getting pelted with missiles all the time? From these stupid false God preaching crackpots? No. All right. So we go to Revelation 17. Why did this piece of junk go to Revelation 18 instead of 17? All right. Okay. Verse 1, Revelation 17. There came one of the... Whoops, it's moved again, this piece of junk. Okay. And there came one of the 7 angels which had the 7 vials, and talked with me, saying unto me, Come hither, I will show unto thee the judgment of the great whore that sitteth upon many waters. That's Columbia, as in District of Columbia, as in Statue of Liberty, as in the woman statue on the roof of the Capitol building, with whom the kings of the earth have committed fornication, and the inhabitants of the earth have been made drunk with the wine of her fornication. So he carried me away in the spirit into the wilderness, and I saw a woman sit upon a scarlet-colored beast. That's the beast. Sitting on means dominating. Full of names of blasphemy, having 7 heads and 10 horns. And the woman was arrayed in purple and scarlet color, and decked with gold and precious stones and pearls, having a golden cup in her hand, full of abominations and filthiness of her fornication. Well, that sort of describes like Trump and the Arab states. All they want is the riches. He who dies with the most toys wins, is their theology. It's incorrect. Can't take it with you. The Egyptians tried that. Didn't work. And upon her forehead was a name written, Mystery Babylon the Great, the mother of harlots and abominations of the earth. That's Columbia. That's the one who they named the American Capitol after, the Statue of Liberty. A flat-chested woman that maybe isn't even a woman. I saw the woman drunken with the blood of the saints, with the blood of the martyrs of Yeshua. And when I saw her, I wondered with great admiration. And the angel said unto me, Wherefore didst thou marvel? I will tell thee the mystery of the woman and of the beast that carrieth her, which hath the 7 heads and the 10 horns. The beast that thou sawest was and is not, and shall ascend out of the bottomless pit and go into perdition. And they that dwell on the earth shall wonder whose names were not written in the book of life from the foundation of the world, when they behold the beast that was and is not and yet is. Okay. The beast was, and then he was sent to the pit. Okay? And is not, because now he's in the pit. So he was, then he got sent to the pit, and then he comes up out of the pit. And then he goes into the lake of fire forever, alive. Him and the false prophet both get the privilege of being the first entities thrown into the lake of fire. They get the best. They're number one. They got number one and number two entrance permits, And here is the mind which hath wisdom. The 7 heads are 7 mountains on which the woman sitteth. Okay, now 7 mountains is the continents, the 7 continents. And there are 7 kings. That's how I interpret it. Because a mountain is a really big deal, right? Okay. And there are 7 kings, 5 have fallen, 1 is, and the other is not yet come. And when he cometh, he must continue a short space. And the beast that was and is not, even he is, and he was, that means he was here, then he got thrown in the pit, and he's not here now. Even he is the 8th and is of the 7 and goeth into perdition. That's when he goes into the lake of fire. And the 10 horns which thou sawest are 10 kings. So the horns is like a country, the mountain is like a continent. That's how I see it. And the 10 horns which thou sawest are 10 kings, which have received no kingdom as yet. So they did not get a kingdom. Okay. But receive power as kings 1 hour with the beast. And that's a very short period of time. Okay. These have 1 mind and shall give their power and strength unto the beast. These shall make war with the Lamb, and the Lamb shall overcome them, for he is Lord of lords and King of kings. And they that are with him are called and chosen faithful. And he saith unto me, the waters which thou sawest where the whore sitteth are peoples and multitudes and nations and tongues. Verse 16, and the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore, and shall make her desolate and naked, shall eat her flesh and burn her with fire. Okay, the 10 horns. We'll take a poke at that. For God hath put in their hearts to fulfill his will and to agree and give their kingdom unto the beast, until the words of God shall be fulfilled. And the woman which thou sawest is that great city which reigneth over the kings of the earth. That's Washington, D.C. It's a great city. It's not part of America, literally. It's not in any of the 50 states, is it? It's a city administered by the United States Congress. Very different. And it's the Statue of Liberty. I mean, it's basically what it's talking about. Columbia, a woman, a flat-chested woman. It might be half man, half woman, or I don't know what, okay? Just like the Statue of Liberty, just like the Columbia Motion Pictures icon with the light on a pedestal, high up on a pedestal, the light, come to me, I got the light, I'll show you the way, sick stuff like that, right? Stupid, graven images. All right. So, 10 horns. Let me just do a count and see if we get anywhere with this, right? Let's see. Kuwait, Bahrain, Qatar, UAE, Oman, Jordan, Saudi Arabia, and then we could add in Germany, UK, and France. 10. Is that it? Like, where am I going? Well, maybe. I don't know. I'm thinking it doesn't look, maybe it's worth considering as a possible, but that's all I'm saying, a possible. Because they would be vicious. They're about all to go to war with Iran. Iran's at war with them, so they're going to go to war with it. Either Iran's at war with them or some of them are at war with Iran, like France, UK, and Germany, although Iran is at war with the UK or attacking UK military bases. All right, so Iran may do some very, very bad things to these countries, and Trump may betray these countries. He's good at betrayal. And they turn on America. They might be the ones. Now, what might happen? Is Iran going to nuke these countries? No. Forget nukes. Don't get it hung up on that game. That's like moon going to the moon. Forget about that. But what about chemical warfare? Should we forget about that? Heck no, that's stone cold real. Chlorine gas is the most easiest to use. Now, let's ask ourselves a question. Are we dumb enough to believe that Iran does not use chlorine gas, does not have it? Of course it has it. Could they put it in their missiles and drones? Yeah, I think so. Now, we were back in the 90s, early 90s, when Saddam Hussein, remember that guy, was attacking Israel. We were afraid he was going to put chemical weapons in the Scud missiles. Never did. He might not have had the technology. Now, remember, he was shooting from Iraq to Israel. There's parts of Iraq that are rather close to Israel. So he wasn't taking any long shots, okay? Iran is. Iran's got way the heck more sophistication. Okay, they're doing 1,200 mile missile shots, okay? So what's up with that? So let's say they put chlorine in their missiles, the gas. It has a blinding effect. It has you choke. Is it survivable? Oh, sure it is. Yeah. But if you get too much of it, you're dead. and it doesn't take long to work. And generally, if you're not getting good, adequate medical treatment within minutes, you're gone. It can kill you easily. Now, it may be very, very difficult for them to get that to fly down to Israel and work, but it's not necessarily that dangerous to get it to go into the countries by the Persian Gulf, because that's a whole other type of family of missiles, much, much shorter range missiles. And maybe that'll be what does it. Now, there's other products they could use, like mustard gas, which fits into artillery shells. Now, chlorine might also, but they're too far away to hit these countries with an artillery shell. That's silly. They can't get anything like that going. We got an update from my little local defense force for the village. We're getting letters from the banks and the healthcare and the government and the local defense saying we're here to help you, and everybody's trying to pull together in Israel, which is nice. The doctors are saying they're going to do diagnosis and treatment on like an iPad or computer, so you don't have to go out of the house and go down there to see them, and then you just got to go to the drugstore, have the drugstore deliver, and you get the prescription. Okay, so moving along. When the beast comes out of the pit, people are going to start talking, this guy's the beast, that guy's the beast. Okay. Forget that, okay? Let's go to Revelation 9. Understand what happens when the beast comes out of the pit, so you could be immune from the derelicts, church teachers with their garbage. Okay. We were supposedly in 9, but here we go. And the fifth angel sounded, and I saw a star fall from heaven to the earth, and to him was given the key of the bottomless pit. So are we thinking it's Satan or what? We don't know exactly. Could it be? Yeah. Could it be fall from heaven doesn't sound like a nice angel that's in good standing with God. So probably some nasty, unclean spirit. Okay, has the key. So, and he opened the bottomless pit, and there arose a smoke out of the pit. So apparently, as soon as he gets the key, he opens it up. Smoke comes out of the pit as the smoke of a great furnace, and the sun and the air were darkened by reason of the smoke of the pit. So obviously this is a very observable event. It doesn't say the sun goes dark and the moon turns to blood. Okay, if the air is dark, you wouldn't see the moon turning to blood either. This is different. And there came out of the smoke locusts upon the earth. Now we're seeing them out in the Sahara now, so the locusts are coming back. And unto them was given power as the scorpions of the earth have power. Now, that's when we were told in Luke 10 that not to, we have dominion over the serpents and the scorpions, and he's speaking of this stuff, that won't hurt you. And it was commanded, that's what I think it is. It may also apply in general to the people serving the unclean spirits and the unclean spirits. And it was commanded them that they should not hurt the grass of the earth, neither any green thing, neither any tree, but only those men which have not the seal of God in their foreheads. Now, this is probably Ezekiel 9 in the Gog and Magog days, Ezekiel 38, 39, when God puts a seal in the forehead, the mark, his name, in the forehead of the people that are upset at all the injustices, those that are falling away in Israel are doing. Okay, so that's your match on that. Okay, it's in Ezekiel 9. Ezekiel chapters 8 to 11 is the same time as the book of Joel, as Zechariah 14, and as Ezekiel 38 and 39. Now, Ezekiel 9 and 8 come before Ezekiel 38 and 39. And when you read Matthew 24, different verses are in the sequence is bounced around. So you can't always judge prophecy by trying to get a linear sequence in the way it appears in the Bible. You got to be more careful than that. And to them it was given that they should not kill them, but they should be tormented 5 months, and their torment was as the torment of a scorpion when he striketh a man. It's very, very, very painful. And in those days shall men seek death, and shall not find it, and shall desire to die, and death shall flee from them. That's one of our planes. Missiles screech and scream. They don't exactly sound. You have like a jet engine noise, and you have a screech and scream. This is just jet engine noise. Sadly, most of you are going to find that out for yourself, I'm afraid, pretty soon. I don't know, but the fighting may not be with missiles, but it might be. And in those days shall men seek death, and shall not find it, and shall desire to die. He's not moving fast. He's out there waiting and looking for trouble. Not that he's going to cause the trouble, he's going to protect us from the trouble. And in those days shall men seek death, and shall not find it, and shall desire to die, and death shall flee from them. And the shapes of the locusts were like unto horses prepared unto battle, and on their heads were as it were crowns like gold, and their faces were as the face of men. These are pretty unusual looking locusts, and their hair as the hair of women, and their teeth were as the teeth of lions. And they had breastplates as it were breastplates of iron, and the sound of their wings was as the sound of chariots of many horses running to battle. And they had tails like unto scorpions, and there were stingers, I guess we would say, stings in their tails, and their power was to hurt men 5 months. Not us, the unsaved. And they had a king over them, which is the angel of the bottomless pit, whose name the Hebrew tongue is Abaddon, and in the Greek his name is Apollon. I believe that's your beast. And one woe is past, and behold, there come two woes more hereafter. And the sixth angel sounded, and a voice from the four horns of the golden altar, which is before God, saying, the sixth angel which had the trumpet, loose the four angels which are found in the great river Euphrates. And okay, I'm getting off. So that's what we got. So what we are getting into is the destruction of the daughter of Babylon. But God may very easily use Trump to destroy our enemies. And the recompenses is not just on Iran, it's on all these countries squatting on our land that refuse to leave. They just want to get rid of Israel. That's it. It's going to happen. First, Israel gets the bad things and the good things. When you see Israel start to get the good things, the nations are really going to get the bad things. But it's already started because we're in recompenses. So they get the bad stuff, and it's coming their way real fast. And the further we go into recompenses, the worse it gets for them. So these countries may get a real whipping from Iran. They may eventually extinguish Iran and put it out, but they're really so busted up after that, they get to turn on America. Yeah, could be. I mean, I know that's going to happen. I'm not so sure on the 10 countries, but it sure sounds good, doesn't it? So maybe. All right, I guess that's what I'm going to give you now, because I've been doing a lot of work on Telegram, and I do a lot of work on the doing more live streams. I try to get about 2 a day out in addition, little ones, but I get them out. And I follow this almost constantly on Telegram. So I'm going to wrap this up for now, and I'll get a prayer up for us. My Heavenly Father, Jehovah, I pray for me and my wife and all the true believers and their households, and all our animals and pets, and everything we own, possess, control, and set a hand to, that we would have strength, stamina, and endurance, and your healing and recuperative power would flow through us, and we would be getting healing all the time where we need healing. And I pray for our animals and pets and us, that we would be safe and secure and happy, healthy, and whole. And I pray we have no accidents, no tickets, no breakdowns, no getting stopped, stuck, or stranded, or any kind of mishaps. We don't get attacked or discriminated against or picked on or robbed, scammed, frauded, ripped off, swindled, or confused and bewildered by unclean spirits serving people. I pray we don't hear from unclean spirits or the demons. We don't get any dreams from them, any visions, any thoughts, ideas, notions, or feelings. I pray we know the scriptures better, and I pray for the peace of Jerusalem. B'Shem Yeshua HaMashiach. And my Heavenly Father, I loose off of me and my wife and all the true believers in their households. I loose from all of us any witchcraft, sorcery, curses, hexes, vexes, spells, enchantments, and demons, that all these things should remove from us, never to return again. Immediately, B'Shem Yeshua HaMashiach. Now, it's good to do spiritual warfare on people coming in to this thing, because I just found one that had been hanging around watching us for a while. The salad and the enchilada was served. So we need to be doing that. I can't, stop what I'm doing and lose my train of thought and go do it, but you guys can do it. So you can agree with these prayers easily, even if it's on the video. And that's what I got. And I'm going to go back to the war. And you will be getting updates from me. If you want to get onto my Telegram, just send me an email. My email's in the description box towards the bottom, the very lowest line. Israel Giving with the number 7 at gmail.com. And I'll send you the invite link for the Telegram, and you got to get Telegram Messenger, the app, I believe, and it's all free. Telegram's free, the app's free, everything's free. And that's what I got, and I send my shalom to all those who love Yeshua HaMashiach, and I'm out.